Welcome to Cyber Explorer, your go-to channel for reliable tech insights and cyber trends. How streaming platforms track you beyond what you watch. Streaming platforms have transformed how we consume entertainment. Movies, TV shows, music, podcasts, and live content are now available instantly, tailored to personal tastes and accessible across multiple devices. Netflix suggests what to watch next. Spotify seems to know your mood, and YouTube cues videos that feel uncannily relevant. Most users understand one basic fact. Streaming platforms track what you watch or listen to in order to make recommendations. What far fewer people realize is that this is only a small part of the tracking that takes place. Behind the scenes, streaming platforms collect, analyze, and infer a vast range of data that extends far beyond viewing history. They monitor how you interact, when you watch, where you watch, what device you use, what you skip, how long you hesitate, and how your behavior changes over time. In many cases, they also combine this data with information from outside the platform to build a detailed behavioral profile. This tracking is not necessarily secret, illegal, or malicious, but it is far more extensive and far more revealing than most people expect. Streaming platforms are data companies first. At their core, modern streaming platforms are not just entertainment providers. They are data-driven technology companies. Content is expensive to produce and license. Data, by contrast, is endlessly reusable. The ability to predict user behavior accurately is what allows platforms to keep users engaged longer, reduce churn and cancellations, optimize advertising, decide which content to fund, shape user habits. Every interaction you have with a streaming platform feeds into the system. You are not only a viewer, you are a data source. Tracking starts the moment you open the app. Tracking does not begin when you press play. It starts the moment you open the app, or sometimes even before. Platforms record the time you open the app. Even hesitation is data. A pause before clicking tells the platform something about uncertainty, curiosity, or indecision. Over millions of users, these microsignals become extremely powerful. What you don't watch is just as important. One of the most misunderstood aspects of streaming tracking is that not watching something is often more valuable than watching it. Platforms track. This negative data helps refine predictions. If you consistently skip romantic comedies but watch crime dramas to completion, the system adjusts not just recommendations but how content is marketed to you. In other words, silence and avoidance speak loudly. Completion rates reveal your psychology. How long you watch something is more important than whether you watch it at all. Streaming platforms track. If millions of viewers stop watching a show at the same point, it signals a problem with pacing, storytelling, or interest. If viewers binge entire seasons in one night, it signals addictive engagement. At the individual level, these patterns help infer. When you watch matters more than you think, time-based data is deeply revealing. Platforms track. From this, platforms can infer. For example, a sudden increase in late-night viewing may suggest insomnia, stress, or life disruption. A shift from weekday viewing to weekends may signal a job change. This data is valuable not just for recommendations but for advertising and content strategy. Device tracking. Your screen tells a story. What device you use to stream is another major data point. Platforms track whether you watch on. They also track. This reveals context. Watching on a phone suggests mobility or privacy. Watching on a TV suggests a shared environment. Watching on a work computer suggests different behavior than watching on a couch. Combined with timing, device data paints a picture of your daily life. Location tracking beyond the obvious. Most people assume streaming platforms only know their country or region. In reality, location data can be far more precise. Platforms may collect. If you log in from multiple places, platforms can infer. Location changes also affect what content is promoted, what ads you see, and how your behavior is interpreted. Search behavior exposes intent. Search queries are among the most revealing forms of data. Platforms track. Search behavior reveals intent, curiosity, and unmet needs. Searching for a genre or topic repeatedly without watching results suggests dissatisfaction or exploration. This data helps platforms understand not just what you like, but what you are looking for but haven't found yet. Ratings, likes, and dislikes are only the surface. Explicit feedback such as likes, dislikes, ratings, or thumbs up, down is useful, but it is far less important than behavioral data. Platforms trust what you do more than what you say. Someone might like a show but never watch similar content again. Someone else may never rate anything but consistently binge a genre. Behavior wins. Explicit feedback is often used to fine-tune models, but passive data drives the system. Audio and music platforms track mood and emotion. Music streaming platforms take tracking even further. They analyze. From this, platforms infer. That is why playlists can feel eerily accurate. The system is not guessing, it is modeling emotional patterns over time. Cross-device and cross-platform tracking streaming platforms do not operate in isolation. Many share data with. If you use the same email, account, or device ecosystem, data can be linked across. This allows platforms to understand behavior beyond their own app. For example, watching a trailer on social media and then streaming the movie later connects multiple data points into a single profile. Advertising reveals the endgame for ad-supported platforms. Tracking is essential to monetization. They track. This data helps advertisers target not just demographics, but behavior and intent. Even subscription-based platforms may collect similar data for internal analysis, partnerships, or future ad strategies. Profiles extend beyond individuals. Streaming platforms often create household-level profiles. By analyzing, they infer. Even without explicit profiles, the system learns patterns that reflect group behavior. Kids' content and long-term profiling. Children's viewing data is especially sensitive. While regulations exist, platforms still collect. This information shapes recommendation systems and may influence long-term engagement strategies. The concern is not immediate harm, but persistent digital footprints formed early in life. Algorithms shape what you think you like. Recommendation systems influence. Over time, this feedback loop can narrow exposure and reinforce preferences. You may think you are choosing freely, but your choices are guided by data-driven predictions optimized for engagement. Why platforms want to know you this well? The goal of deep tracking is simple: retention. The longer you stay, the more valuable you are. Tracking allows platforms to. In this system, understanding you deeply is not optional, it is essential. Privacy policies versus reality. Most platforms disclose data collection and privacy policies. But these documents consent is often bundled into account creation. Opting out may limit functionality. This creates a gap between what users expect and what actually happens. Can you avoid being tracked? Completely avoiding tracking while using streaming platforms is nearly impossible. However, users can reduce exposure by. These steps reduce, not eliminate, data collection. The ethical question. The real issue is not whether tracking exists, but how transparent and proportional it is. Many users would accept tracking if. The problem arises when tracking extends far beyond user understanding. The bigger picture. Streaming platforms are a window into the future of digital life. Entertainment is just one domain where behavioral tracking is normalized. The same models apply to. Understanding how streaming platforms track you helps you understand how the digital world works. A final thought. When you press play, you are not just watching a show or listening to music. You are participating in a complex data exchange. Your preferences, habits, moods, and routines become part of a system designed to know you sometimes better than you know yourself. Streaming platforms do more than track what you watch. They track who you are, how you live, and how you change over time. Awareness does not require paranoia. It requires understanding. And in a world where entertainment and surveillance increasingly overlap, understanding is power. Thanks for watching. Like, share, and subscribe to Cyber Explorer for more updates. See you in the next video.